Holy second lame attempt at bandwagon engagement, Batman! Robin once said while making a video for YouTube that tied in with a returning big movie franchise. In my defence, there are now just 10 episodes left in this series of mine, and Batman most certainly had a well-known TV show, so I had to fit it in somewhere. Why not now? And remixes of the music from that show do feature in 2 of these games, giving them a close enough tie-in factor. No excuse for the other one though, as that's clearly based on the 1989 movie and thematically it's completely different from the 60s original, but who cares at this stage? I'm nearly bloody done. What 60s TV show I didn't hear you ask? Well, that would be Batman. The Batman TV series of the 1960s is a cross-generational gem. As far removed from the edgy looks of the recent comic, game and movie adaptations as Batman could get, ABC aired 120 episodes over 2 years between 1966 and 1968. Batman, the 1960s show, was essentially a sitcom, but with punching. It was largely aimed at teenage boys of the era and came complete with moral lessons about using seatbelts, eating veg and drinking milk. That'll make you big and strong like Mr. Batman. Please ignore his paunchy waist. He's clearly eating more than vegetables. Batman and its accompanying movie, which came out between series 1 and 2 and united the biggest dastards in the Batmanish hall of villainy, were productions that just couldn't give less of a bat guano. It is a laundry list of silliness. The knowing jokes, the onomatopoeia, the shark repellent, the bomb gag, the bat phone and pole slide, Robin's corny exclamations, the hammy acting by Leeds Burt Ward and the iconic Adam West, the crazy backgrounds with their Dutch angles, the scenery truing from the guest star villains, that impractical but wonderful Batmobile, even Cesar Romero's refusal to shave off his face paint encrusted moustache. It just has a sense of ridiculous fun that very few other superheroes have tried. Maybe Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok aside. Batman is the unhinged genius of William McEllery, who also developed the Green Hornet series. It was shown in the UK originally on ITV and later on BBC4 and Channel 4 throughout the 90s, 2000s and 2010s. The Batman series of the 1960s has that special place in people's hearts that not a lot of shows from that era have. It's a classic show that will leave you with a dumb smile on your ridiculous gurning chops. A bit like the Joker, but perhaps with less face paint in your facial hair. The first Batman game we're going to gawp at is indeed the first official Batman game ever made. Batman, along with the other 2 games in this video, were published by Ocean. Batman was released on the Amstrad and MSX along with the Spectrum in 1986. It was made by the team of John Rittman and Bernie Drummond, who would go on to craft one of the Spectrum's most beloved games in Head Over Heels. The plotline is more of a setup for another more interesting storyline. Robin has been kidnapped while repairing the Batmobile, and Batman must traipse through 150 screens that make up a rather dangerous Batcave to locate all the parts of the Batmobile, and then he has to put them all back together. When you've done that, the game ends. Let's just assume that Batman got Robin back from his kidnappers. Allegedly, this act of garden bird monikered teenager larceny was carried out by the Joker and the Riddler, but not so you would know from playing this game. The villains of this game range from a snarling pug to a bipedal Afghan hound with an exposed belly button to a head with an eye patch. Who needs to utilise the best rogues gallery in comic book history when you've got these flipping superstars, eh? Batman must not only collect the Batmobile parts, but he also has to hunt Samus Aran style for parts that will enhance his abilities, be they the Bat boots for jumping, the Bat bag for carrying, the low grav Bat belt for floating, or the Bat tissues to wipe up his Bat semen when he's had a Bat wank. that last one is not true. Batman clearly has canned heat in his heels as he makes a little ditty when he walks. Personally, I've never been a huge fan of these isometric games. I find the jumping in them a little bit cumbersome, but I certainly can see the appeal of them, and they do look rather special running on your 48K. In terms of a game that celebrates aspects of the violent nature of Batman, this is perhaps not the game for you. But with those points made, for those who do like these sorts of games, it's clearly a highly polished effort. And it does go with the silly feel of the TV show. And it's a bit of a head scratcher too. In their May 1986 issue, Crash gave it their Crash Smash award along with a 93% and said it does Batman proud. The May 1986 Sinclair user gave it their Classic Award, a 5 out of 5, and said you'll definitely want to play this one again and again because leaving it unsolved will drive you batty. That is a pun. In the May 1986 Your Sinclair, they completed the Bat Trick, do you see, of awards with their mega game and a 9 out of 10, and they stated it's the attention to detail that marked this out as a true recipient of that there award I just spoke about, the old Your Sinclair mega game. Moving on to the Caped Crusader now, which made it into the top 5 of my top Bat games list. Special Effects Software were handed development duties for this one, who, headed by legend Joffa Smith, went on to make the incredible conversions of Cabal and Midnight Resistance, along with the superb top-tier movie adaptations of The Untouchables and Hudson Hawk. The Caped Crusader switches perspective to a 2D perspective from the isometric nature of the first entry. As you see, it does something very interesting with it too. Moving on to a different location will show up in a different panel, as in a comic book panel, complete sometimes with little text boxes, which I think is kind of neat. Batman the Caped Crusader is split into 2 separate adventures, with Bird in the Hand featuring the Penguin trying to take over the world with robot penguins. Okay, I'm sure there are easier ways than doing that. Have you seen how slowly penguins walk? I appreciate that you have certain characteristics that resemble a penguin, but have you thought of, robot Tyrannosaurus Rexes or mammoths? You don't have to base everything on how you look. There's more to you, Oswald Cobblepot, than the fact that you look like a penguin. Believe in yourself, mate. The other adventure, A Fate Worse Than Death, fate meaning like a fair, Batman has to save a kidnapped Robin from the joke. Is this connected to the first game? Is this where we rescue his youthful ward from when he was kidnapped, when he was taking apart the Batmobile in the first game? I don't know, it's not. He just gets kidnapped a lot. He's like a more recoverable Maddie. Both scenarios start in the dingy home of the Batcave, with all sorts of clues and useful items left hither and dither because Batman is a lazy rich prick who gets Alfred to pick up all of his crap. Once outside, crime happens all over Gotham and largely in Batman's face, with all manner of dangers, goons, hoodlums and wildlife willing to put an end to Batman's happiness, and you can return the favour by simply putting a batarang or a bat leather glove in their stupid faces. Batman's inventory can be accessed via pressing fire and down, and crime thwarting will happen with the correct application of an object in a certain place. I hailed this game as giving the best and most thorough Batman experience of the 8-bit computer games in my best and worst Batman game video, and by crikey, by George and by gum, that still stands. Issue 60 of Crash magazine awarded it a smash and stated that it's technically impressive, immensely playable and has plenty of devious puzzles to solve. It got a final score of a 93% from them. Your Sinclair gave it a 9 and a mega game in their January 1989 issue. They declared it as yet another triumph for Ocean, and without a doubt special effects finest achievement so far. That was before Midnight Resistance, Cabal Untouchables and Hudson Hawk came out. Those games are slightly better, if anything. Another classic from Sinclair User in their December 1988 issue, along with a 90%, and them announcing that it is a first-class Batman romp. We shall have to ask Catwoman about that. Let's round out our trilogy of upside-down My Superhero adventures with the adaptation of 1989's Batman movie by Tim Burton. The silliness of the previous games is set aside for now, as we have a stern, serious Batman with dead parent issues who can't turn his neck. The Joker, played by Jack Nicholson, is causing all kinds of problems in Gotham's gangland, and the rubber-suited violent philanthropist, played by Michael Keaton, has just about had enough of all this silly larks. Ocean handled this one in-house, and they handed it to the team that gave us Spectrum top 10 list botherers like RoboCop, Renegade, and its sequel Target Renegade. Batman was a multi-part movie adaptation featuring 2 large platform levels, a side-scrolling Batmobile level involving rope swinging around lampposts, VW Beetles, and the best Batmobile that has ever been created. I will fight you, Tumbler fans, with your ugly ass car. This is the best Batmobile that there's ever been. Then there's the similar Batwing level, but it involves cutting our former friends the ropes because they're attached to poison parade balloons, and Batman can't have that going all over our good citizens of Gotham, now can he? Oh, and of course there's a puzzle game where Batman goes shopping in Boots for presents for Kim Basinger. I think. Something like that anyway. My favourite bit is the energy bar, which starts off as Batman and slowly becomes the Joker as Bruce Wayne gets closer and closer to death. There's a certain point in the energy loss where he just becomes Phil Collins in the 80s. Dun 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 dun. The platform bookends are unquestionably the highlight of the game, a multi-directional RoboCop, if you will. It does suffer from that same thing that RoboCop does. Not that he can't scratch his arse and has to eat baby food, but the fact that you can get hit by multiple goons at once and there's no invincibility frames pinning you down to getting pummeled. This one also has the issue of having to get the bat swinging correct or you'll die in a heap because you fell too far, and it's not always as massively intuitive, to be honest, as say Bionic Commando or something. That said, this game was a favourite of mine as a kid, a fantastic production of a Spectrum game that had that high quality feel to it that only Ocean were capable of towards the end of the Spectrum's life. Go with a smile and get this extravaganza, probably better than the film, say Crash, in their November 1989 issue. They once again gave it a crash smash and a 93%. The November 1989 Your Sinclair gave it a 91%. The third such mega game they've handed out to a Bat game in a row, and this blurb, a brilliantly done conversion but ever so slightly let down by limited driving sequences. In their October 1989 issue of Sinclair User, they told us Batman is sure to be a monster hit, and they didn't give it a classic award, and they gave it a lowly 76%, breaking the trend of 90s scores like Batman's mum's necklace when she ate that bullet in that alleyway. You bunch of contrarian dicks, Sinclair User, giving the game the sort of better than average score that it probably deserves. That supervillain Super Jim Tendo must have put you up to this. Please do check him out. He's a funnier version of me with better production and videos that don't outstay their welcome. You've been watching this crap for over 15 minutes now. So what have we got up next? As in the same bat time, same bat place, same bat channel. Actually, probably not the same time. I seem to be uploading these very sporadically at the moment. Well, we go from Batman to the Bartman as we look at The Simpsons. Yes. Like, subscribe, and K thanks, bye.